boy. I don't recall ever asking for a favor as an opening line to an episode, but given the title of this one, I feel like it might be necessary, so do actually get to the end of the video before your itchy trigger hits that dislike button, because I know some of you are eager as hell to smash it with vigor. And for those of you wondering, Spoon's gonna flex his authoritarianism, no, I'm not gonna do anything of that sort, don't worry. I'm going to do something far, far worse. I'm going to propagandize you, and in doing so, make you think. Which is horrifying, I'm well aware. So this is a brief exchange between VitoComedy and Mark. Let's start with Mark, who was replying to a chap, Vitor Santos, who said, "This is a good idea, we should start fixing woke art in mass," with Mark saying, "I have no problem with this. Redraw every woke character, call it fixed. If this is against your principles, you are just going to lose the war because they will continue to ruin your characters and your loved IP without qualm. This is a simple way to push back." And Vito's saying, "Fighting against artists drawing what they want to draw. I thought this was about censorship. Now you're saying artistic freedom is also a problem if they don't draw things a certain way." Now, normally, I never agree with Mark. God bless the man, I'm sure he means well, but he's very, very naive about power and politics. And frankly, seeing him do this thing of spreading awareness about something that's been going on for over 10 years, and he was the lead for World of Warcraft, that is such a waste of talent. That's like watching a 5-star chef chastising others for bad ingredients. Considering your skills, your reach, and resources, why are you not making a superior competing product? The division of labor is such bollocks, but anyway. But this bit here, if this is against your principles, you're just going to lose the war because they will continue to ruin your characters and loved IP without qualm. I do believe I've said something similar before. If your principles cause you to lose, your principles suck, get new principles. I do enjoy vindication, if only the opinion of other people matter to me. I'm being slightly facetious. I don't need the approval of others, especially when reality proves me correct and does that for me. But here's an interesting question, and I want all of you to ponder on this one. Functionally speaking, what is the difference between censorship and gatekeeping? Think about it. I'll use this definition from Encyclopedia Britannica. Censorship, the changing or suppression or prohibition of speech or writing that is deemed subversive of the common good. Now, who has the power to deem what is the common good is up for debate, but I would say in this scenario, you, the majority consumer, is the common good, and the Skittle Squad over there are the subversives, quite literally actually. And when you look at that censorship definition over there, the main function is defense, which is the exact same thing you do when you gatekeep. I mean, look at what Vito said there. Now you're saying artistic freedom is also a problem if they don't draw things a certain way. Yeah, I call this the Shire mentality, because you may as well be living in a fantasy land. Like I said, if your principles cause you to lose, they suck, get new principles. The principle of freedom here, does it benefit you more or your enemies? Your enemies, because they can come into your territory, mess up your hobbies, and your only response is to bleat and plead like impotent sheep. You don't go into their territory and mess up their stuff. Why? Because it is against your principles. How's that working out for you? My suggestion would be sharpening the claws and getting a set of fangs. Because anyone with half a brain at this point has to realize the idealism of freedom and equality is fucking insane. Let's apply this mentality practically, alright? Say you have an upscale bar, kind of like the one behind me. Would you let anyone into your establishment, regardless of, say, attire, state of inebriation, etiquette, criminal record, age, or hygiene? No, because that's sheer lunacy. It would undoubtedly ruin the ambiance and reputation of the establishment that you're trying to cultivate and maintain, as well as annoy existing and loyal patrons. And what happens to those who do not behave according to the code of conduct of this particular private property? They get removed. You have a protocol. Now imagine you try to operate the bar using the principles of equality, actually being inclusive. This is destined to fail because you're simply removing all the standards, which will inevitably allow the dregs to come in and wreck your establishment. If they come in and desecrate in the name of whatever they pulled out of their arse, and you restore the place prior to their desecration, to deem this unprincipled is to suggest that desecration has some kind of merit. I do not agree. I do not value equality, raw freedom, or objectively piss-poor production of anything. Yeah, being elitist sure has its advantages. Point here being is this: exclusivity is the norm, and freedom without order simply results in chaos. Or in this case, a GigaChat jawline and a haircut courtesy of a crackhead playing hide the fork in a plug socket. That line, now you're saying artistic freedom is also a problem if they don't draw things a certain way. Again, this is a principle based on an ideal. The ideal being you reside in an environment where people adhere to principle. You no longer exist in that environment. Now the Shire is filled with the Urukai. Different environment, different hazards, different threats, new set of rules and principles. Try and keep up, lad. Imagine you lived in some quaint small village somewhere, and a bunch of idiots came around and wanted to build some horrid concrete construction of Soviet brutalism. Would you let them under the guise of, oh well, they're equal and if they have the money? Or would you rather a kingly figure exercise authority and say, defile my territory with this abomination and I'll punish you with the right hand of God? Previously, I imagine a fair few people would say, no, that's too authoritarian. Now, guarantee you now, a lot of people will go, absolute Chad, give me the righteous fist, and onward we shall conquer in the name of royal beauty. Cheers for watching, and once again, I apologize for nothing.